What if I told you that hidden deep within you are 4 invisible forces that shape your reality in ways you've never imagined? For centuries, this knowledge has been concealed, guarded by mystics, encoded in ancient texts, and whispered among secret societies. But once you unlock it, it changes everything. You've always sensed that there's more to you than just a body, more than just thoughts, more than just fleeting emotions, something deeper, something more powerful. And you're right, you are not just one being, you are 4. The physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. 4 layers of existence, each connected to an elemental force: earth, water, air, fire. And yet, most people live their entire lives completely unaware of this hidden structure within them. They drift through life fragmented, disconnected, never realizing that their struggles, their desires, their failures all stem from an imbalance in these 4 bodies. They never learn that mastery over these 4 forces is the key to unlocking ultimate power. Power over their mind, their emotions, their reality. Because when these 4 bodies are in harmony, you become unstoppable. You manifest with precision, you move through life with clarity, you break free from the illusions that have kept you trapped. But here's the catch. If you don't take control of these bodies, someone else will. Throughout history, those in power have understood this. They've built entire systems, religions, governments, societies designed to keep you disconnected from this truth. They have manipulated your physical body with poisons disguised as food. They have corrupted your emotional body with fear and doubt. They have programmed your mental body with lies and limitations, and they have severed your spiritual body from its divine source. Why? Because a fragmented being is easy to control. A person who is out of alignment is powerless. They live in confusion, chasing fulfillment in things that can never satisfy them. But once you remember who you are, once you begin to realign your 4 bodies, you take back the power that was always yours. So let's begin with the foundation, the physical body, Earth. This is the densest of the 4 bodies, the one you experience most tangibly. It is your vessel, your anchor in this reality. But it is far more than just flesh and bone. The ancient alchemists called the body a temple, a sacred structure built upon divine geometry. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, your very form is encoded with the secrets of the universe. But modern society has disconnected you from this truth. It has filled your body with chemicals, disconnected you from nature, made you believe that the body is something to be ignored, numbed, or mistreated. They don't want you to realize that the physical body is the gateway to energy mastery. Because a strong, aligned body radiates energy. It acts as a tuning fork, vibrating at a frequency that attracts health, strength, and abundance. That is why grounding is essential. The ancients understood this. They walked barefoot, absorbed the earth's energy, aligned themselves with nature's rhythm. They knew that the body is not separate from the earth but an extension of it. The foods you eat, the air you breathe, the way you move. Every choice either strengthens your physical body or weakens it. And weakness? That is how they control you. Next, we move to the emotional body, water. If the physical body is the foundation, then the emotional body is the current that moves through it. Every emotion you feel carries a frequency. Fear, sadness, anger. These weigh you down, lowering your vibration, keeping you stuck. Love, joy, peace. These elevate you, making manifestation effortless. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your emotions are not just internal experiences. They are forces that shape reality. Scientists have already proven that water holds memory, that its molecular structure changes based on intention and emotion. And since your body is mostly water, your emotions are constantly programming you, constantly shifting your energy field. That is why emotional mastery is critical, because unresolved emotions do not simply fade away. They crystallize in your energy body, forming blocks that prevent you from manifesting what you desire. The ancient mystery schools taught purification rituals for this very reason. Water was used to cleanse not just the body, but the soul. And yet today we drown ourselves in distractions, suppressing our emotions instead of transmuting them. Now we move to the mind. Air. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas, they are living entities. Every thought you generate carries an energetic signature. It feeds into your aura, into the collective consciousness, into the very fabric of reality. This is why the mental body is the architect of your destiny. It is what the ancient mystics referred to as the Logos, the divine word, the power of creation itself. And yet most people have no control over it. Their minds are filled with noise, programming and subconscious beliefs that were never their own. They were trained from birth to think small, to doubt themselves, to accept limitations. But the truth is, your thoughts are magic. And the greatest secret of all, those in power have always known this. They have spent centuries perfecting the art of mass hypnosis, using symbols, words, and images to shape the collective mind. Every ad you see, every news headline, every system of education, it is all designed to hijack your mental body, to keep you vibrating at a frequency of lack, fear, and helplessness. But the moment you reclaim your mind, you reclaim your reality. Which brings us to the final body, the spiritual body, fire. This is the highest aspect of your being, the eternal flame, the divine spark. It is the source of all intuition, all wisdom, all higher knowledge. When fully activated, it connects you to the infinite. It dissolves fear. It unlocks hidden abilities. It allows you to transcend the illusion of separation and step into your true power. But this is also the body they have worked hardest to sever you from, through fear-based religious doctrines, through suppression of mystical traditions, through ridicule of spiritual practices. Because the greatest threat to any system of control is an awakened being who remembers their divine nature. The spiritual body is the force behind all transformation. It is the energy of ascension, the fire of the phoenix, the kundalini serpent rising through the chakras. It is what alchemists called the magnum opus, the great work. And the moment you ignite this fire, you become unshackled from the illusions of this world. This is why all four bodies must be aligned. The physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. Earth, water, air, fire. When they are in balance, you become the master of your own reality. You begin to manifest effortlessly, attract opportunities, radiate confidence. You no longer react to life, you create it. But when they are fragmented, you are easily controlled. Your energy is scattered, your power is dormant. You remain locked in cycles of struggle, confusion, and limitation. So the question is, will you awaken these hidden bodies? Will you reclaim the power that was always yours? Or will you remain trapped in the illusions they have woven around you? Because the choice has always been yours, and now you know the truth. Everything in existence moves in cycles. The planets orbit the sun in precise patterns. The tides rise and fall with the pull of the moon. The seasons shift in perfect harmony, and within you these same cycles exist, mirroring the universe itself. The four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, are not separate forces. They are a rhythm, a dance, an alchemical process that transforms your very essence. But what happens when the rhythm is broken? When one body is neglected? When the elements within you are misaligned? You feel it. The heaviness in your physical form, the emotional storms that pull you under, the restless mind trapped in cycles of doubt and overthinking, the spiritual void, that aching sense that something is missing, something vast and unnameable. This fragmentation is not natural, it was designed. A broken being is easy to manipulate. A person out of sync with their own essence will forever seek outside themselves for fulfillment. But you were never meant to be broken. Each of your four bodies corresponds not just to the elements, but to the cycles of transformation. The physical body mirrors the energy of winter, earth, stillness, preservation. The emotional body reflects the flow of spring, water, movement, awakening. The mental body aligns with the sharp clarity of autumn, air, release, refinement. And the spiritual body burns with the heat of summer, fire, expansion, ascension. This knowledge is ancient, hidden in the great mysteries of the past. The four elements were not just poetic metaphors, they were precise codes, roadmaps to understanding human consciousness. The four directions, the four noble truths of Buddhism, the four Gospels, the four stages of alchemy. Negredo, albedo, citrinitas, rubedo. Black, white, yellow, red, each representing a step in the great transmutation of the soul. And yet, this knowledge was buried, suppressed, ridiculed. Those in power understood that if humanity remembered these truths, their control would crumble, because the one who masters the four bodies is free. You've already seen how your physical body can be manipulated. They fill your world with toxins disguised as food. They keep you disconnected from nature, from movement, from sunlight. They tell you the body is just a machine, a collection of cells and bones, when in reality, it is an energy system, a sacred vessel. The ancients understood this. They practiced breathwork, movement, fasting, sacred geometry and architecture and design, all to keep the body in alignment with the cosmos. But the physical is only the first layer. It is your foundation, but not your prison. The next layer is the emotional body, the place where most people are trapped. Think about it. How many people live entirely ruled by their emotions? How many are controlled by fear, by anger, by sadness they don't even understand? These emotions are not random. They are frequencies. They dictate the energy you emit, the reality you attract. And here is the secret they don't want you to know. Emotions are meant to flow. They are not meant to be suppressed, not meant to be clung to. The ancient masters knew this. This is why water has been used in purification rituals for thousands of years. Water is movement. It cleanses. It carries away stagnation. But society has taught you to fear your emotions, to repress them, to drown them in distractions. And when emotions are ignored, they don't disappear. They crystallize, forming blockages in your energy field. Unprocessed grief lingers in the lungs. Unresolved anger lodges in the liver. Fear trapped in the kidneys, weakening your life force. The body stores everything the mind refuses to process. But when you begin to release, when you allow emotions to move through you instead of controlling you, the energy shifts. Suddenly, your manifestations become clear. Your aura radiates at a higher frequency. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. This is why those who control the world keep you in a state of low vibration. Fear weakens your energy. Doubt clouds your mind. Guilt and shame keep you in chain. But what happens when you dissolve these illusions? This is where the mental body comes in. If the emotional body is the river, the mental body is the wind. Subtle, yet powerful. Most people believe their thoughts are just fleeting ideas, momentary flickers in the brain. But thoughts are not passive. They are forces. They create ripples in the unseen world. They dictate your perception, your choices, your frequency. The mind is the architect of your reality. This is why mental programming is the most powerful tool of control. Think about it. Why are you bombarded with fear-based news, with limiting beliefs, with constant distractions? Why is the school system designed to make you memorize rather than think? Because those who shape the mind shape the world. The great masters of history, the mystics, the initiates of ancient schools, they knew how to harness the mental body. They understood the power of language, of symbols, of visualization. Because here is another secret. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. Whatever you consistently focus on, whatever thought you feed, the mind accepts as truth. That is why repetition is used in advertising, in religion, in propaganda. Words are spells. What you speak becomes your reality. What you believe shapes your world. So what happens when you take back control? When you clear the mental fog? When you begin to direct your thoughts with intention? When you no longer allow external forces to dictate your perception? The world bends to your will. And that brings us to the final and most powerful body, the spiritual. The fire that burns within you, the eternal essence, the link to something greater. This is the body they fear the most. This is why they suppress ancient teachings. This is why they demonize mysticism, burn sacred texts, ridicule the seekers of truth. Because An awakened spiritual body means freedom. The spiritual body is not religion, it is not dogma, it is the force behind all things, the life energy that moves through you, through nature, through the cosmos. When fully activated, it connects you to your highest self, dissolves illusions, transcends limitation. It is the fire of transformation, the Kundalini, the Holy Spirit, the divine spark that cannot be extinguished. And yet, how many people live their lives completely disconnected from it? Trapped in materialism, in survival mode, in the illusion that they are only flesh and bone. This is why true spiritual awakening is rare, because it requires the alignment of all four bodies. It is not enough to meditate while neglecting the body. It is not enough to visualize while suppressing emotions. It is not enough to seek wisdom while the mind is poisoned with limitation. The four bodies must be in harmony, and when they are, everything shifts. The body becomes energized, vibrant, in tune with the rhythms of nature. The emotional body flows freely, no longer weighed down by stagnant energy. The mental body becomes a focused instrument of creation, bending reality to your will. The spiritual body ignites, awakening the dormant power within you. This is the great secret. The reason you have struggled, the reason things have felt out of reach, is because the four bodies have been misaligned. But now you see it. Now you remember. And now you must choose. Will you continue living in fragmentation, controlled by forces that do not serve you? Or will you step into alignment, into mastery, into the truth of who you are? Because once you awaken these four bodies, you will never see reality the same way again. Everything in the universe exists in layers. You are not just one thing, not just a body, not just a mind. You are a system of energies, a network of consciousness woven through different dimensions of reality. And yet, most people live trapped in a single layer, seeing only the surface, believing they are only what they can touch and measure. But what happens when you shift your awareness? What happens when you begin to operate from the totality of who you really are? Everything changes. Right now, your four bodies are speaking to you. Your physical body holds tension, fatigue, vitality, strength. Your emotional body vibrates with every experience you've ever had, every joy, every pain, every suppressed fear. Your mental body is filled with patterns, beliefs, conditioning, loops of thought that either empower you or imprison you. And your spiritual body? It has been calling to you your entire life. Every moment of synchronicity, every time you sensed something beyond the physical, every dream that felt more real than waking life. These were not coincidences. They were glimpses, reminders of the truth that has always been within you. You have been conditioned to believe that reality is external, that the world happens to you, that life is something to be navigated and endured. But this is the greatest illusion of all. Reality is not something outside of you. It is something projected from within you. Your four bodies are the blueprint, your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your connection to the infinite. These shape the world you experience. When they are in harmony, life flows, manifestation becomes effortless, opportunities appear. Your very presence shifts the energy of a room. But when they are out of sync, life feels like resistance, like struggle, like an endless loop of repeating patterns you can't escape. And yet, you were never meant to struggle. You were meant to create. This is the knowledge they have hidden from you. Because when you know how to align your four bodies, you are no longer dependent on the systems designed to control you. You no longer look to external authorities for validation. You no longer feed the fear-based structures that rely on your disempowerment. You become self-sustaining, a generator of energy, a source of light, a conscious creator of reality. This is what the ancient masters knew. This is why their teachings were suppressed, why their wisdom was twisted, why their texts were rewritten to serve those in power instead of those seeking truth. Because a person who understands their own power is uncontrollable. Look around. Everything in this world is designed to fragment you. Your physical body is weakened by artificial foods, disconnected from nature, poisoned by chemicals that dull your senses and lower your vibration. Your emotional body is hijacked by a constant flood of fear, anxiety, division, manipulation, that keeps you reactive instead of receptive. Your mental body is shaped by programming so deep you don't even realize it's there. Beliefs passed down through generations, through education, through media, through repetition, until they become invisible, unquestioned. And your spiritual body? It is buried beneath all of this, buried beneath distractions, obligations, endless noise. But here is the truth they never wanted you to know. Nothing can sever you from your power. They can distract you, mislead you, keep you occupied with false desires and artificial struggles, but they cannot take what is inherently yours. The only way to lose your power is to forget you have it, and that is what has happened to most people. They have forgotten. They have fallen asleep inside their own dream. They have become so lost in the illusion that they no longer remember they are the ones creating it. But you are waking up, and when you wake up you begin to see the patterns. You begin to notice how the world has been designed to keep you disconnected from yourself. You begin to recognize the ways in which you have been held back, not by fate, not by external forces, but by the conditioning you have unknowingly accepted. And once you see the program, you can rewrite it. Once you recognize the illusion, you can step outside of it. This is the path of mastery, the path of alignment, the path of liberation. You have been given the greatest gift in existence, the ability to create, to shape, to direct energy. But you cannot do this fully until all four bodies are aligned. Your physical body must be purified, strengthened, treated as the sacred vessel it is. Your emotional body must be cleared of stagnant energy, freed from the loops of past trauma and unconscious reaction. Your mental body must be disciplined, trained to focus, to envision, to build reality with precision, and your spiritual body must be fully activated, reconnected to the infinite source that fuels all things. This is why ancient civilizations built entire schools dedicated to mastering these energies. The mystery schools of Egypt, the yogic traditions of India, the shamanic initiations of indigenous cultures. These were not just rituals, they were technologies. Spiritual sciences designed to unlock the full potential of the human being. But this knowledge was taken, distorted, hidden behind symbols and allegories that only a few were ever meant to decode. They turned sacred wisdom into superstition. They turned inner power into external worship. They made you believe that enlightenment was something distant, something granted, something you had to earn through suffering and obedience. But it was never outside of you. It was never something to be given. It was always something to be remembered. This is the moment of remembering. This is the moment where the illusion begins to crack, where the fog begins to lift. Because now you know the truth. You are not a single being moving through a world that happens to you. You are a multi-dimensional force, a convergence of energies that shape reality itself. And once you take control of these energies, you take control of everything. Think of every time you have felt completely in flow, completely at peace, completely in tune with life. Those moments were not random. They were glimpses of alignment, flashes of what is possible when your four bodies are working together. Now, imagine living in that state permanently. Imagine moving through the world with a body that is energized and strong, an emotional field that is clear and open, a mind that is sharp and focused, a spirit that is fully awake. This is not a fantasy. It is the natural state of being, the state that was taken from you, the state that you can reclaim. But here is the choice. Will you take this knowledge and let it fade into the background of your mind, another idea, another passing thought? Or will you act? Will you begin the process of realignment? Will you reclaim your body, your emotions, your mind, your spirit? Because knowledge alone is not enough. Knowing the truth changes nothing. It is what you do with it that determines your path. This is your moment. The moment where you decide if you will continue living in the illusion or if you will step into the power that has always been within you. No one can make this choice for you. No one can walk this path but you. But if you choose it, if you commit to it, if you begin the process of realignment, you will never see the world the same way again. Because once you awaken the four bodies, you awaken to the truth of who you are, and the world as you know it will never be the same. Everything in existence moves according to laws. cycles of energy, patterns of vibration, rhythms that shape the universe. The sun rises and sets, the moon waxes and wanes, the seasons shift in perfect harmony, and within you those same patterns exist. Your four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, are not separate. They are a unified system, a sequence of energies designed to work together. When one is weak, all suffer. When one is neglected, the others must overcompensate. This is why so many people feel out of balance. This is why so many struggle to manifest, to evolve, to find peace. They are trying to build their lives on a fragmented foundation, unaware that the key has always been within them. Look at the world around you. Everything you see is a reflection of the energies within you. A chaotic mind creates a chaotic life. An unhealed heart attracts unhealed experiences. A disconnected spirit leads to a sense of emptiness, no matter how much you try to fill it with external things. But this isn't something you've been taught. In fact, it's something you've been deliberately steered away from. The world is designed to keep you externally focused, seeking solutions outside of yourself, believing that happiness, power, fulfillment, and freedom are things to be acquired rather than states of being to be activated. They keep you distracted with material pursuits, endless entertainment, artificial needs that drain your energy and keep you locked in cycles of dependency. But the truth has always been simple. Align your four bodies and everything shifts. Think of a river. When it flows naturally, it carves its own path, effortlessly shaping the land, nourishing everything in its path. But when a dam is placed in its way, the water begins to stagnate. It loses its momentum, its purity. It becomes a breeding ground for imbalance. This is exactly what has happened to you. Your energy is meant to flow, to move freely, to carry you forward effortlessly. But the blocks, the traumas, the conditioning, the misalignments, these have created resistance, stopping your energy from reaching its full potential. And until you remove those barriers, until you allow the natural flow to return, you will always feel as if something is missing, as if something is holding you back. But what happens when you remove the dam? What happens when the flow is restored? Everything comes back to life. Energy moves freely. Manifestation becomes effortless. The body, the emotions, the mind, the spirit all come into alignment, each supporting the other, creating a force so powerful that nothing can stop it. This is what the ancient masters understood. This is why their teachings were hidden, their practices forbidden, their wisdom turned into myth and legend. Because a person in full alignment is free, and a free person cannot be controlled. You have felt glimpses of this before, the moments when your body felt light and powerful, when your emotions were in harmony, when your mind was clear and sharp, when your spirit felt connected to something greater than yourself. Those were not random moments. They were signs of alignment, reminders of what is possible. But instead of being taught how to maintain this state, you were pulled back into the illusion, told that life is meant to be a struggle, that suffering is natural, that control belongs to forces outside of you. But none of that is true. The struggle only exists when you are out of sync with your own energy. The body is meant to be strong, not weighed down by fatigue, sickness, or toxins. The emotions are meant to flow, not be suppressed, buried, or turned into wounds that fester for years. The mind is meant to be clear, not filled with noise, distraction, and limitation. The spirit is meant to be awake, not asleep inside a world of illusions. But none of this will change unless you change it. You see, the world does not force you into misalignment. It offers distractions. It creates temptations. It builds systems that make it easy to forget your power. But the choice is always yours. You are the one who decides what you consume. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You are the one who allows the energy to flow or remain blocked. And you are the one who can shift everything. But here's the secret. You don't have to fight for alignment. You don't have to struggle to reclaim your power. You simply have to remove the blocks. Like the river, the energy is already there, waiting to move naturally. The body heals when given the right conditions. The emotions clear when they are expressed and released. The mind sharpens when freed from distractions and false beliefs. The spirit awakens the moment you stop resisting it. So what will you do? Will you continue to ignore the messages your four bodies are sending you, or will you start listening? Because they have been speaking to you your entire life. Every ache, every fatigue, every discomfort in your physical body is a message telling you what needs to change. Every wave of emotion, every fear, every burst of joy, every moment of sadness is showing you where energy is stuck or flowing. Every thought that repeats in your mind, every belief that shapes your perception, every doubt or dream or idea, it is all part of the map, showing you exactly where you need to focus. And your spirit? It has never stopped trying to guide you. It speaks in intuition, in synchronicity, in those moments when you feel something beyond explanation pulling you in a direction you can't ignore. But will you listen? Will you allow yourself to become whole again? Or will you continue to live as a fraction of what you were meant to be? The choice is yours. No one will force you to awaken. No one will realign your energy for you. No one will free you from the illusions except you. But once you begin, once you commit to the path of alignment, everything will change. Because alignment is not something you achieve, it is something you remember. It is the state you were born into, the state you are meant to return to, the state where everything begins to make sense. And here's the most powerful truth of all. Once you awaken to this knowledge, once you see the game for what it is, you will never be the same. You will no longer be controlled by the distractions, the fears, the artificial desires that once ruled you. You will see the illusion for what it is, a system designed to keep you from your own power. And you will walk through it untouched. Because once you align the four bodies, you become something else entirely. A force of nature, a master of reality, a being who does not wait for change but creates it. So take a deep breath, feel your body, feel your emotions, observe your thoughts, connect with your spirit. This is where it begins. This is where you reclaim everything that was taken from you. This is where you step into your true self. And once you do, there is no going back. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, the expansion of your chest, the subtle pulse of life moving through you. This simple act, this breath, is proof that you are more than just a body. You are a current of energy, a force of nature, a living conduit between the seen and the unseen. But have you ever truly felt the full power of what you are? Have you ever experienced yourself in complete alignment, where your body, your emotions, your mind and your spirit move as one? Most people haven't. Most people live in fragments disconnected from their own essence. They feel the weight of their physical body but ignore the messages it sends them. They experience emotions but suppress them, bury them, avoid them until they become toxic. They think without awareness, allowing old patterns and external programming to dictate their reality. And their spirit, it lingers in the background, whispering, waiting, trying to be heard over the noise of the world. But what if you could change that? What if you could bring yourself back to your natural state, the state where all four bodies are synchronized, flowing, working together as they were always meant to? The state where your energy is clear, your manifestations are effortless, your presence is magnetic. The state where you no longer react to life, you create it. This is not a dream. It is not something reserved for mystics, sages, or those who devote their lives to spiritual practice. It is your birthright. The only reason you have not experienced it fully is because no one ever told you how. Because those who designed this world have spent centuries keeping this knowledge hidden. They have built systems that fragment you, keeping you dependent, weak, searching for answers outside yourself. But once you understand the four bodies, once you begin to align them, their illusions lose power over you. Your physical body is the foundation. It is your anchor to this realm, the sacred vessel that allows you to experience this reality. And yet, look at how society treats it. You are given food filled with chemicals designed to keep you sluggish and disconnected. You are taught to ignore your body's wisdom, to push through pain, to live in a state of tension, stress, and exhaustion. They have disconnected you from nature, from movement, from the energy of the earth itself. But your body was never meant to be weak. It was designed to be a temple, a conduit of power. When it is aligned, energy flows freely. Every movement, every breath, every sensation becomes an act of creation. But when it is ignored, when it is filled with toxins, when it is treated as an afterthought, it becomes a prison, keeping your energy locked away. And then there is the emotional body, the river of energy that shapes your vibration. How many times have you been told to suppress your feelings, to be strong, to push things down and move on? But emotions are not meant to be buried. They are energy in motion, designed to flow, to teach, to cleanse. When you suppress them, they don't disappear. They get stored in your body, in your muscles, in your cells, in the very essence of your being. This is why so many people feel heavy, stuck, unable to move forward. They are carrying years, even lifetimes of unprocessed emotions, layers of energy that need to be released before true alignment can occur. And then there is the mental body, the architect of your reality. Every thought you have carries a frequency, shaping your perception, influencing the energy you emit. But how many of your thoughts are truly your own? From the moment you were born, your mind has been shaped by others, by family, by culture, by the media, by systems designed to keep you small. You were told what to believe, what to fear, what is possible and what is not. And without realizing it, you accepted these programs as truth. But what if they were never true? What if your mind has been trapped in a maze of illusions, repeating the same thoughts, the same doubts, the same limitations over and over again? Your mind is a tool, not a master. And when you reclaim it, when you clear out the false beliefs and replace them with conscious intention, you gain the ability to shape reality itself. Every thought becomes a building block, every word a spell, every belief a force that bends the world around you. But as long as your mental body is filled with noise, with self-doubt, with the conditioning of a world that does not want you to awaken, you will remain blind to your own power. And then, the final layer, the spiritual body. The source of everything, the fire that burns within you, the eternal aspect of your being that has never been broken, never been lost, never been touched by fear or limitation. This is the part of you that knows, the part that remembers, the part that has been waiting for you to wake up. They have tried to keep you from this. They have told you that you are small, that you are powerless, that you must look outside yourself for salvation, for guidance, for permission to exist as you truly are. They have hidden the ancient wisdom that connects you to the universe, the teachings that show you how to activate your full potential. But they cannot erase the truth. They can only distract you from it. And now, here you are, hearing this, feeling something stir inside you, recognizing something you may not fully understand yet, but you know is real. This is not new knowledge. It is ancient. It is encoded within you. And the moment you begin to align, the moment you begin to remove the blocks, to reconnect, to reclaim your energy, you will feel it. Because alignment is not something you achieve, it is something you remember. And when you remember, nothing will ever be the same again. You will no longer move through life blindly, pulled in different directions by forces you don't understand. You will no longer feel lost, disconnected, searching for something you can't quite name. You will feel whole. You will feel powerful. You will feel like yourself, in a way you never have before. And the world will respond. Because the moment you shift, everything shifts. The opportunities you seek will appear effortlessly. The relationships that no longer serve you will fade away. The struggles that once seemed impossible will dissolve, replaced by a sense of flow, of purpose, of absolute clarity. This is the path of mastery. The path of those who refuse to live as prisoners of their own fragmentation, the path of those who choose to step fully into their power. And you have always had that choice. So now, the question is not whether this knowledge is real, you feel it, you know it. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you let it fade into the background, another idea, another moment of curiosity before returning to the familiar patterns of the past, or will you act? Will you begin the process of realignment, of clearing the blocks, of stepping into the truth of what you are? No one can make that choice for you. No one can walk this path except you. But if you choose it, if you commit to it, if you begin, everything will change. Because once you awaken, you will never see the world the same way again. You are standing at the edge of something vast, something ancient, something that has been waiting for you to notice it. This moment is not an accident. The knowledge reaching you now is not random. It is the calling of something deeper, something beyond the distractions and illusions of the world you were taught to believe in. It is the voice of your own being, rising through the noise, through the conditioning, through the layers of limitation that have kept you asleep, because that is what this has always been, a sleep, a forgetting, a dream imposed upon you by forces that thrive on your disconnection. But now the dream is cracking, the illusion is wearing thin, and what lies beyond it is the truth of what you are. You are not just a body moving through the world. You are not just a mind processing thoughts. You are not just emotions reacting to what happens around you. You are not even just a soul experiencing existence. You are all of it, together, woven into a system so intricate, so powerful, that when fully aligned, you are capable of bending reality itself. They never wanted you to know this. They built entire systems to keep you from knowing this. They gave you distractions, rules, dogmas, fears, and stories that told you that power was outside of you, that salvation was outside of you, that everything you seek is something you must earn, chase, beg for. But it was never outside. It was never separate. It was always here, waiting for you to turn inward, to remember, to activate the truth buried beneath the layers of illusion. Your four bodies are the key. They are the foundation of your reality, the lenses through which you perceive existence. If even one of them is misaligned, distorted, disconnected, the entire structure suffers. The physical body is the grounding force, the connection to the material world, the bridge between form and energy. But for centuries this knowledge has been corrupted. You were taught that the body is fragile, that it is limited, that it is something you must fight against, control, punish. They filled your world with poisons disguised as nourishment, with habits that weaken rather than strengthen, with an entire culture designed to disconnect you from your own form. But the body is not your prison. It is your power. It is the vessel through which energy flows, the structure that holds the frequency of your being. And when you treat it as sacred, when you move with awareness, when you feed it with what it truly needs, the energy begins to shift, the blocks dissolve, the strength returns. But strength is not just physical. Strength is emotional, the flow of energy through your heart, through your inner world. They never taught you how to process emotions. They taught you how to suppress them, how to numb them, how to drown them in distractions so you would never realize their true power. But emotions are not weaknesses. They are frequencies, messages, vibrations that shape the very fabric of your reality. When you are controlled by them, you are reactive, easily manipulated, pulled in 1,000 directions by forces you do not even see. But when you learn to master them, to feel without attachment, to process without suppression, you become something else entirely. You become a force that cannot be moved by external chaos. You become an energy that radiates clarity, certainty, power. And power begins in the mind. Your mental body is the architect of your experience. Every thought you think shapes the reality you live in. But how many of those thoughts are truly yours? From the moment you took your first breath, you were surrounded by programming, by beliefs implanted into your subconscious before you even had the awareness to question them. They told you what to fear, what to desire, what is possible and what is not. They built invisible walls around your perception, trapping you in a version of reality that serves their system, not your evolution. And yet, all it takes to break free is awareness. All it takes is the realization that these thoughts are not you, that they can be rewritten, that your mind is not a cage but a tool. And once you learn to direct it, to shape your focus, to feed it only that which empowers you, the illusions begin to fall away. And when the illusions fall, the spirit awakens. The spiritual body has been the most suppressed, the most distorted, the most hidden from you. They told you that spirituality was something external, something that required intermediaries, rituals, permissions. They told you that the divine was distant, unreachable, something to be feared, something that judged, something separate from you. But none of it was true. You are not separate from the divine. You are not separate from the source. You are not separate from the energy that creates worlds. The only separation that ever existed was the one you were conditioned to believe in. But belief is a choice. And when you choose to remember, when you choose to realign, when you choose to reconnect to the fire within you, everything shifts. The dormant energy awakens, the intuition sharpens, the path becomes clear. This is not just philosophy, this is not just an idea, this is the hidden knowledge that has been passed down in secret, hidden in ancient texts, encoded in symbols, protected by those who knew that if the masses remembered, the structures of control would crumble. Because a fully aligned being cannot be manipulated, a person who has activated all four bodies cannot be controlled by fear, by scarcity, by limitation. They do not need permission to create, to heal, to expand. They do not look outside of themselves for answers. They do not wait to be saved. They understand that they were never lost. They were only asleep. But now you are waking up. You are feeling it, aren't you? The shift, the energy moving within you, the recognition of something deeper, something real. This is not something you need to learn. This is something you need to remember. It is already within you, waiting. And the moment you commit to this path, the moment you begin to align the four bodies, everything changes. Your body begins to heal, to strengthen, to vibrate with a frequency that attracts health, vitality, power. Your emotions become a force of creation rather than chaos, flowing freely, guiding you rather than controlling you. Your mind becomes an instrument of precision, no longer a battlefield of conflicting thoughts, but a tool that shapes your reality with clarity and intention. And your spirit ignites, burns away the illusions, reconnects you to the infinite source that has been waiting for you to remember. This is the path of mastery. This is the path of those who refuse to live as prisoners in a world designed to keep them asleep. And now, you must choose. Will you continue as you were, walking through a reality shaped by forces you do not control, or will you step into alignment, into power, into the truth of what you are? Because once you begin this journey, there is no going back. Once you awaken, you cannot unsee. Once you feel the energy moving through you, once you experience the power of living in full alignment, nothing else will satisfy you. You will know with absolute certainty that you were meant for more, that you were never meant to live in fragmentation, in limitation, in doubt. You were meant to be whole. You were meant to be free. And now, the choice is yours. You are not here by accident. The thoughts that led you here, the questions you've been asking, the feeling that there is something more, none of it is random. Something deep within you has been calling you to remember, to awaken, to break free from the illusions that have kept you in a state of limitation. And now, that time has come. Look around you. The world you see, the reality you experience is not fixed. It is not something happening to you. It is something being created through you. Your energy, your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts. They are the building blocks of everything you perceive. When you live in alignment, reality bends to your will. When you are fragmented, reality feels chaotic, unpredictable, outside of your control, but it was never outside of your control. It was only a reflection of the state you have been in, and now you are beginning to see. For too long you have been led to believe that life is a struggle, that success requires suffering, that growth must come through pain. You have been taught that your power is limited, that your potential is something you must prove, earn, or seek from outside of yourself. But this was never the truth. The truth is, you were born whole. You were born with everything you need already within you. The only thing that has ever kept you from it was the illusion that told you otherwise. The illusion is cracking, the fog is lifting, you're beginning to feel it, aren't you? That shift inside, that deep knowing that something is changing, that something is awakening. That is not your imagination. That is the reality of your being coming back into alignment. That is the force within you stirring, reclaiming its space, dissolving the lies that have kept you small. And now you have a choice. You can go back to the way things were, back to the patterns, the distractions, the conditioning that has shaped your life until now. Or you can step forward. You can embrace this shift, lean into it, and begin the process of fully awakening your four bodies, realigning your energy, reclaiming your power. Because once you do, nothing will ever be the same again. Your body will feel different. The heaviness you've carried, the exhaustion, the tension, the stagnation, it will begin to fade. Because the body does not resist healing. It only needs you to stop interfering with its natural intelligence. The moment you start listening to it, nourishing it, treating it as the sacred vessel it is, it will respond. It will regenerate. It will move with strength and lightness you have not felt in years, maybe ever. Your emotions will transform. No longer will you be at the mercy of feelings that overwhelm and consume you. No longer will you be trapped in loops of past pain, reacting to life through wounds you never healed. Because once you allow emotions to move, once you stop holding on to them as if they define you, you will realize they are only energy, flowing through, guiding you, not controlling you. You will no longer be afraid of feeling. You will no longer suppress what needs to be released. And in that release, your entire vibration will rise. Your mind will become your ally rather than your enemy. The endless chatter, the doubts, the conditioned fears, they will no longer hold power over you. You will see them for what they are, programs running in the background, remnants of a past that no longer defines you. And once you take control of your focus, once you become intentional about the thoughts you allow, your mind will become a tool of precision, a force of creation, a gateway to realities beyond what you ever imagined. And your spirit, the part of you that has been waiting in the background, watching, whispering, nudging you toward this moment, it will finally rise. You will feel the connection that has always been there, the vastness of what you are beyond this body, beyond this lifetime. You will remember that you are not just experiencing life. You are life itself, expressing, expanding, evolving. And when you reach this state, when all four bodies move as one, reality itself will respond. The things you once struggled for will begin to appear effortlessly. The things that once felt impossible will become inevitable. The universe will align to match the frequency you now hold. Because that is how it works. This has always been the secret. The energy you carry creates the life you experience. The alignment within you determines what you attract, what you manifest, what you live. And this is why they worked so hard to keep you fragmented. Because a person who does not know their own power will seek it elsewhere. A person who believes they are weak will surrender their control. A person who thinks they are disconnected will give away their energy to anything that promises them wholeness. But you do not need to seek wholeness. You only need to remove the barriers that have kept you from it. The world has told you that change is difficult, that transformation takes time, that deep healing requires struggle. But what if that too was a lie? What if alignment does not have to be a battle but a surrender? What if healing is not something you force but something you allow? What if all the energy you have spent trying to fix yourself was never needed because you were never broken? The truth is, alignment is not something you achieve, it is something you return to. It is the natural state of your being, the place where energy flows effortlessly, where you move with purpose and clarity, where the external world becomes a mirror of the power within you. The only reason it has felt difficult is because you have been conditioned to resist it, conditioned to believe that you must struggle, that you must search, that you must work endlessly to become something you already are. And now that conditioning is falling away. You are beginning to feel the truth not just as an idea, but as an undeniable reality. You can feel the energy moving, the remembering taking place, the shift happening inside you. And now all that is left is for you to decide. Will you step into this? Will you embrace the full spectrum of your being? Will you move forward not as a seeker but as a creator, as a master of your own energy? Because once you do, once you fully commit, life will no longer be something you react to, it will be something you shape, with intention, with clarity, with absolute certainty. Everything that once seemed out of reach will come into focus, everything that once felt like resistance will dissolve, and you will understand with every fiber of your being that you were never meant to live in limitation, you were never meant to feel powerless, you were never meant to search for something outside of yourself, you were meant to remember, and now you do. There is nothing left to seek, nothing left to wait for, nothing outside of you that needs to be found. The answers, the power, the alignment. It has always been here, it has always been within you. The only thing that ever kept you from it was the illusion that told you otherwise. That illusion is breaking now. You can feel it. The way your perception is shifting, the way the energy within you is moving differently, the way everything you thought was real is starting to feel less solid, less fixed, less certain. And that is because reality itself was never solid. It was never something outside of you. It was never something that happened to you. It was something being shaped through you in every moment, in every breath, in every choice. You have never been powerless. You have never been lost. You have only been disconnected, living in a reality that taught you to forget, to doubt, to shrink yourself into something small, something predictable, something safe. But you were never meant to be small. You were never meant to follow a path that was laid out for you by forces that do not understand your true nature. You were never meant to live in hesitation, in fear, in the shadows of your own potential. You were meant to stand in your full power, to radiate energy, to create effortlessly, to move through this world with absolute certainty of who and what you are. And what you are is limitless. What you are is beyond definition, beyond control, beyond anything you have been led to believe. This is why the world has tried so hard to keep you asleep, because a person who is truly awake, truly aligned, truly embodying their four bodies in harmony, is untouchable. They cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, cannot be led into a reality that is not of their choosing. They walk as creators, as forces of nature, as beings who do not wait for change but command it. And now you have reached the moment where you must decide if you will step into this fully or let it fade. Because once you know this, once you feel it, once you have seen the way the illusion has shaped your existence, there is no going back. You can try to forget, try to fall back into the old patterns, try to convince yourself that this was just a passing thought. But it won't work. Because something inside you has awakened, and once something is awake, it cannot pretend to be asleep. You will feel it in everything. In the way you carry yourself, in the way your body responds, in the way your emotions move through you without resistance, in the way your mind sharpens, no longer clouded by the weight of thoughts that do not belong to you. You will feel the power of your spirit, no longer distant, no longer a concept, but something real, something undeniable, something that has always been guiding you toward this moment. The world will look the same, but it won't feel the same. The people around you will seem unchanged, but you will see them differently. You will understand the energies they carry, the frequencies they emit, the patterns they are trapped in. You will recognize the illusions they live by, the ways they have been programmed, the fears they hold on to without realizing they were never theirs to begin with. You will no longer take things personally. You will no longer feel the need to argue, to prove, to convince, because you will know that most people are still moving through a reality shaped by forces they do not see, still reacting to a world they do not understand. But you will understand. You will see how energy works. You will see how thoughts become things, how emotions create momentum, how belief structures shape entire lifetimes. You will see that everything, every struggle, every limitation, every resistance was never something outside of you. It was always something within you. Something that could be dissolved the moment you decided to stop feeding it power. And this is where true mastery begins. Not in controlling the external world, not in forcing things to change, but in realizing that alignment makes control unnecessary. When your four bodies are in harmony, reality moves to match you. The things you once had to fight for will come effortlessly. The doors that once seemed closed will open without effort. The path that once seemed unclear will unfold in ways you could never have predicted. And those who are still asleep will not understand. They will look at you and wonder why things seem to flow for you, why you do not struggle as they do, why you do not react to the things that shake them. They will not see the internal work you have done. They will not know that you have realigned your energy, that you have mastered the flow of the four bodies, that you have reclaimed a power they do not yet remember exists. And some will be drawn to you. They will feel something in your presence, something unexplainable, something magnetic. It will not be because of what you say, but because of what you are. Because alignment cannot be faked. It is a frequency. It is something that can be felt. And those who are ready will sense it. This is the new way of being. This is the level beyond seeking, beyond questioning, beyond struggling to find answers. This is the space where you no longer look for truth because you have become it. You no longer wait for permission because you already know you are worthy. You no longer hesitate because you trust in yourself, in your energy, in your ability to shape reality as you choose. And as this knowing deepens, as you step further into this alignment, you will begin to remember something even greater, that this is not the first time you have come to this realization. This is not the first lifetime where you have felt the call to awaken. This is not the first moment where you have stood at this crossroads, feeling the pull toward something more, something beyond what this world has told you is possible. But this time you will not turn away. This time you will not let the conditioning pull you back. This time you will step fully into it. Because you are ready. Because you have already begun. Because there is no other path for you now but forward. And forward is where everything changes. Forward is where you step into your full power. Forward is where you no longer seek, you no longer hesitate, you no longer question whether you are capable. You simply are. Whole, limitless, unstoppable. You are not becoming something new, you are returning to what you always were. And now there is nothing left to do but step into it fully. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more looking back. This is the moment where everything shifts, and you are the one who shifts it.